In the news headlines tonight, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol survives an impeachment vote after the ruling party boycotted the vote. In Hong Kong, the Beijing-gifted pandas will use their original names and are ready to meet Hongkongers tomorrow. And the 10,000 capacity Kai Tak Arena stages trial matches for the first time, with 2,000 spectators attending.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has successfully dodged a bullet and survived the impeachment after plunging the entire country into unrest with his panic-inducing, chaos-breeding martial law imposition. Despite taking a firm stance against Yoon, the opposition found themselves lacking the numbers to push the motion alone. In a surprising turn, all but 2 ruling party members walked out in a boycott of the impeachment after voting against a motion to probe the First Lady. Despite calls for them to return and vote, only one did before the vote ended at 9:20 p.m. local time. But the opposition requires at least 8 supporters from the ruling party to carry out the motion. Just when the vote was still in limbo, outside the National Assembly, disappointed protesters kept on chanting together, demanding Yoon to step down. Meanwhile, a pro-Yoon rally in Gwanghwamun Square morphed into a celebration. A heartfelt speech Yoon delivered this morning apparently won him some support. Taking a deep bow before the whole nation, Yoon apologized for his martial law imposition, vowing there would be no restaging of such enforcement. Despite the gravity of his speech, Yoon stopped short of resigning, only saying he would not avoid the legal or political responsibility. Though getting to stay in office for now, Yoon still faces mounting pressure from not only outside, but also within his own People Power Party, with party leader Han Dong-hoon taking a zigzag stance at him, calling for party unity to boycott the impeachment, while calling on Yoon to step down at the same time. Opposition leader Lee Jae-myung said earlier that his party would work aggressively, swiftly, and strongly to remove Yoon from office, adding they plan to submit the motion again next Wednesday if today's impeachment failed. Kun Tin-yak, Cable News.
兩隻大熊貓將會繼續係叫安安同埋可可嘅。
The pair of giant pandas gifted by the central government will retain their names An An and Ke and will officially meet the public starting tomorrow. Despite receiving over 22,000 suggestions in a naming competition, the judging panel chose to keep the original names for their meaningful significance. An means peace and stability, and Ke implies the city's limitless potential. The 2 names together sound like encore, suggesting that good things will keep happening to Hong Kong. Speaking at a greeting ceremony held at Ocean Park, Chief Executive John Lee highlighted that the government plans to capitalize on the opportunities these pandas present. Various panda-related activities will be organized in collaboration with different sectors of society to boost tourism and the retail sector, he said. The 2 5-year-old giant pandas will reside separately in 2 exhibition areas at the Hong Kong Jockey Club Sichuan Treasures of Ocean Park. The venue will be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Visitors can enter at the start of each quarter hour, with each viewing session lasting about 10 minutes. While residents will have to wait until tomorrow to see the real pandas, they were treated to a lively human mascot today. Amid cheers, the giant panda mascot Panda Go Guide made its debut at the Avenue of Stars in Tsim Sha Tsui earlier this afternoon. The energetic mascot bounded around, waving and greeting the public, high-fiving visitors, and showcasing impressive dance moves. Many residents and tourists eagerly raised their phones to capture this delightful moment. Additionally, 2,500 panda sculptures were on display at the event. These sculptures will soon be exhibited at Ngom Peng, Ocean Park, and Sun Yat-sen Memorial Park over the coming days. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News. The indoor venue Kai Tak Arena at Kai Tak Sports Park hosted its first test event smoothly today, featuring 2 men's basketball games at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., with approximately 2,000 ticket holders attending. As spectators arrived throughout the afternoon, 8 inspection stations were set up outside the venue. Attendees were reminded that drinks, food, and large umbrellas were not allowed inside. There was also a dedicated fast track for those without backpacks or handbags to streamline entry. Key officials in attendance included Sports Commissioner George Toy, Sports Park Director Tan King-sheng, and the new Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, Rosanna Law. This attendee felt good about the venue, likening it to an NBA basketball court. "It's big and beautiful. I even want to go play," he said. However, not all feedback was positive. This attendee complained about the narrow seats which made his legs uncomfortable, while another mentioned the cramped staircases and walkways. Inside the venue, there were water machines and a food stall offering snacks, designed to accommodate 8 major sports events, including badminton, basketball, futsal, gymnastics, handball, table tennis, tennis, and volleyball. The arena can host up to 10,000 spectators and will serve as one of the venues for next year's national games. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Two days after taking office as the new transport chief, Mabel Chen today shared her visions and vowed to steering the Transport and Logistics Bureau with a new set of technologies and policies. Taking to the airwaves, Chen declared her intention to lead the Bureau in pursuing efficiency, rapid progress, and innovative solutions for developing the city's transport infrastructure. Her comments appear to address public frustration over her predecessor's perceived incompetence while maintaining optimism for infrastructure improvements. However, Chen emphasized that before accelerating progress, the government must be adequately prepared, promising to manage multiple programs simultaneously without skipping any necessary procedures. Mentioning the latest development for the smart and green mass transit system for Kai-Tak and East Kowloon, Chen revealed that the Bureau has received over 30 expressions of interest from local, mainland, and international companies. She also announced plans for a tender next year. The new system can serve as a medium-capacity transport, linking the public with conventional rail systems, even though it would not have the passenger capacity of traditional heavy networks, according to Chen. The new Transport and Logistics Secretary assured that the government would balance fare levels with the future operator's budget. Regarding air transport, Chen pledged to explore new flight destinations in Middle Eastern countries while expanding market share on key routes to Europe, America, and Australia. She believes that after the 3-runway system is operational, it's crucial to welcome more foreign airlines while also supporting local carriers, enabling both to thrive together. Quentin Ya, Cable News.
The government said the new tolls at Tai Lam Tunnel cannot be further reduced when it reclaims control of the passage next May, or else it would lead to traffic congestions, awaiting the benefits. In a blog post, Secretary for Transport and Logistics Mabel Chen said the proposed new tolls have already been brought down significantly. If the tolls for commercial vehicles are further lowered, the only way to maintain smooth traffic at the tunnel would be to raise the tolls for private cars. She added that if private car or taxi tolls are further cut, the additional traffic flow induced will cause congestions during peak hours. The newly appointed traffic chief also noted that the length of the Tai Lam Tunnel itself is 3.8 kilometers. Together with the toll control zone, the tunnel is about 10 km long, which involves a considerable amount of maintenance cost. Therefore, based on the user pays principle, the new off-peak hours tolls could actually be described as cost price.
Housing Secretary Winnie Ho urged landlords of subdivided flats not to rush renovations, as the policies and standards for basic housing units are still in the consultation phase.
佢哋就開始收到有2個投訴係講明。
Taking to the airwaves, Ho reported that authorities received 2 complaints of tenants being asked to move out for renovations aimed at meeting government requirements. Ho emphasized that tenants' rights are protected by law. She also clarified that the final standards for basic housing units will only be established after the proposal is submitted to the Legislative Council for approval, and there may be chances for adjustments. For instance, she said the previous requirement for every room to have a window not facing a light well may be relaxed if the light well has certain features. We'll consider allowing flexibility if a building's light well includes a management access door for cleaning, or if the floors are high enough to ensure adequate light and air for tenants, she noted. The housing chief also stated that the current 8-square-meter living area standard was established with consideration of the society's ability to adapt to the new standards and the supply of public and transitional housing, akin to a social stress test. If the standard was set too high, say above 10 square meters of floor area per unit, about half of the units would not comply, she added. Currently, a quarter of the units do not meet the 8-square-meter requirement. When considering other criteria, about a third will require adjustments. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
A construction worker sustained serious injuries following a fall from a height of 30 meters in Naochiwan around noon today. The 39-year-old was installing angle brackets for scaffolding while suspended outside the 6th floor of the Choi Wan Estate multi-story car park, before his safety harness failed, leading to his plunge to the ground. He was then found semi-conscious and suffered injuries to his head and limbs after landing on a truck below, and was rushed to Queen Elizabeth Hospital for urgent medical care. Authorities have classified this as an industrial accident, prompting an investigation by the Labor Department to determine if safety regulations were adhered to during the process. Just last month, several similar accidents happened across the city, resulting in multiple deaths.
A union survey revealed that a quarter of Hongkongers working at the city's public utilities did not receive a pay rise last year. Among the 1,800 employees of Hong Kong Electric, CLP, Town Gas and PCCW who took part in the survey conducted by the Federation of Employees Unions in Public Utilities, 81% considered the salary system of their employers not reasonable. 25% said they did not get a pay rise last year, while nearly half of the respondents said they only get a salary increment of 3% or less this year. The Federation said with tariffs significantly raised last year, all 4 utilities recorded profits and paid out dividends. However, the fruits had not been shared with the employees. Unions demanded a salary increment of no less than 6% next year and a financial performance-based bonus, urging the 4 utilities to step up the compensation for new joiners and provide better incentives to retain talents, rather than just focusing on shareholders' benefits. Angry Georgian citizens continued to take to the street for the 9th day over the governing party's decision to suspend negotiations on joining the European Union. In the capital city of Tbilisi, demonstrators were seen aiming fireworks at police officers, while police fired tear gas and deployed a water cannon in return. Despite the crackdown, protesters vowed to remain on the streets until victory. Opposition protests gained new momentum after the ruling Georgian Dream's decision last Thursday to put the EU accession talks on hold. More than 300 protesters have been detained and over 100 people have been treated for injuries since the protests broke out.